Gervonta Tank Davis's team is correcting the record on several counts. You have things that were said and put in the media about the relationship between Gervonta Davis, Calvin Ford, and Kenny Ellis. And I have talked to Coach Calvin, and he said that what was said was absolutely not true. Also, there was another piece of information that was put out around Errol Spence Jr. and Coach Calvin Ford, and Coach Calvin Ford and team Gervonta Davis also emphatically said that's not true. So, as you know, big business Gervonta Davis got a lot of people talking about him. However, we're going to have to correct the record in this video. Let's do it. Coming up next. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, I've got to do a correction to the record, as I had a conversation with Coach Calvin Ford, and he responded directly to some words that were shared about Gervonta Davis on my channel. And I would be, and as is always my policy, if something is said that is not correct, and I am informed by the Boxers team, I will make sure that the correction is made. Now, in this particular instance, it's not a correction on my channel about something that I said. It's a correction that a person came on the channel during a live stream and stated about Gervonta Davis and claimed that he was a family member of Gervonta Davis. Coach Calvin Ford has responded to that. Now, what did the person say? First of all, the person said that Coach Kenny and Coach Calvin, who are trainers for Gervonta Davis, have no say-so whatsoever in what Gervonta Davis does, and said that Gervonta Davis has not said whether he wants to fight Shakur Stevenson or not, and that people just need to sit down and wait for everything to play out, because none of those guys have decisions in that particular circumstance, right? And it's all going to be between Al and Gervonta Davis. Now, what Coach Calvin said was he listened to what the person had to say, and he's like, went to go check as a family member to see if that was the case. And he says, look, man, I talked to Tank's mother, talked to Tank's family. From what we know, that guy's not related to him. He's not in the family. And this is somebody that has been doing a circuit around YouTube channels claiming this to be the case. And he said it is absolutely not true, that is not a family member of Gervonta Davis. And furthermore, said that at no point in time has he ever claimed that the decision for who Gervonta Davis fought was his or Coach Kenny's. He has always stated that it is Gervonta Davis's decision who he fights next, but he absolutely denies that what the man said was true, and that everything that they said about what Gervonta Davis was thinking as far as they knew was correct. So have to do that correction first and foremost. If you hear videos or see videos out there where there are family members of Gervonta Davis disagreeing with what his camp is saying, understand that the camp is saying that those are just people that are claiming something that is not true. And they are looking forward to taking more action and finding out exactly, who these people are spreading these messages. Now, the second correction that has to be made is not one that originated or participated on in any live streams of mine, but has been said by people out there in the media, general media. And that is that Calvin Ford was turned down by Errol Spence Jr. to be his new trainer. As you know, Errol Spence Jr. is looking for a new trainer because he and Derek James are no longer working together. There's a lawsuit out on them. And so Errol Spence is looking for a new trainer. Many people speculated, as they do anytime any American fighter is looking for a new trainer, that perhaps Gervonta Davis's camp is where Errol Spence Jr. will wind up with Calvin Ford and Kenny Ellis training him. Now, it had been reported that Errol Spence turned them down. What they are saying is that is not true. What they're saying is we've never talked to Errol Spence Jr. We've never offered to train him. But even if we did, we would have to make sure that everything was cool with Derrick James, because they have a working relationship with Derrick James in the fraternity of trainers and coaches, and that they would treat him in a considerate fashion. It would not just jump in there and take, an ex-fighter of his who he's in a lawsuit with. They would go through a process with that, and they did not go through that process with Errol Spence. So they are emphatically denying that they were offered to train Errol Spence Jr., or that they asked to train Errol Spence Jr. and were turned down. Now, as we know, this proves why. Well, let me not say it proves why, but this is what you get when you're the big dog. Right? This is what you get when you're the big dog. You got everybody wanting to talk about you, everybody wanting to be a part of this big thing that's going on. And every once in a while, people will just make up some fibs, or they'll take something that they heard, add a little bit extra to it, serve it up to people fresh like it's something new. There's been conversations going on for a while about who Errol was going to fight with next, going to train with next. Kenny and Coach Calvin are obviously at the front of the potential people, as are other really solid trainers like Breadman Edwards. I'm sure I would not be surprised if they were Mexican trainers like Robert Garcia that could be available for it. I wouldn't be surprised if Errol went to the trainer of the second trainer that Jermell Charlo has, or if he went to Ronnie Shields. I'm sure that he's going to cover all the bases and find the person that he is really, really comfortable with to take him on this second leg of his career, or the final leg of his career. But at the end of the day, we just need to know, and I need to communicate that those things are not true. Some of those things that have been said are not true. Now, I listened closely to what Coach Kenny said, and they said, hey, man, these guys are moving more into the suits, and they are becoming more involved in the business aspect of it. And why would that be? Just from the outside looking in, without asking questions that people really don't want to answer, but just looking at it and reading the tea leaves. Of course, they're going to be involved. They're going to be involved in talking to Tank about who they think he should fight. And Tank can take that into consideration. And when he's working with Al Heyman and they're actually planning the fights out, Al could make the offer to him. They could tell Coach Kenny and Coach Calvin, and they could give their opinion. And I'm sure it's all a team. But at the end of the day, the buck is always going to stop with Gervonta Davis, period. So all of the, who's he working for and this guy blocking this, I think all of that's probably left the building as soon as Gervonta Davis was no longer working with Floyd Mayweather Jr. But at the end of the day, everybody deserves to have the truth told. So I just wanted to update that and let you know that the person that came on during that live stream and the conversation that we had was not, despite what he claimed, was not a family member of Gervonta Davis's. And so I took the video down that was in, and I'm making this correction because people just need to know in case you see him again. Anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.